let's go ahead and let that live stream prepare so I can also pause it, otherwise it played back. And I'm gonna hit pause right now. We'll come back to Zoom. So while I am live streaming, thank you YouTube folks for joining us today. I am not able to see your comments, but I am grateful that you're here. All right. So this is the card medium. I love this name. I love this name. This came to me out of nowhere. And it's very much focused on using cards for mediumship, for practices. Pretty much whatever I'm doing, I'd like to have a deck of cards either in my bag or in my hand. So that's why we're using cards. All right. And we will not be utilizing breakout rooms with only 2 people because I can. Okay. Let's focus in on what we're doing now. And what are we doing today? We're going to explore an exercise that's going to allow us to focus. And it's called following the thread. There is no wrong way to do the exercise. So we're going to begin with a few details about it, a very short visualization, and then move into the exercise itself. And at the end, with whatever time is remaining, we'll talk, we'll chat, we'll be fabulous. All right. So this exercise today is going to explore how to stay with an impression long enough to discover what's connected to it. We'll be using cards for this. Go ahead and start shuffling. You can even go ahead and pull that card if you'd like. But I would suggest going ahead and starting to shuffle, but do what works for you. So sometimes spirit may draw our attention towards a color, person, place, a thought, a belief. Spirit may choose an animal, a memory, or something else entirely to have us focus our attention on. And the first thing we notice is often the beginning of a communication rather than the whole of it. So we need to keep focusing to find where that communication will go. Imagine spirit placing a single thread in your hand. The thread invites your attention. The thread invites your curiosity. As you spend time with it, new connections begin to appear. One observation leads to another. One impression leads to another. One discovery leads to another. The thread gradually reveals more of itself. Today's exercise is an opportunity to explore what becomes visible when we stay with an impression long enough to follow it a little bit farther, a little bit farther. We are practicing observation. We are practicing curiosity. These are natural traits within humans. We've got this. There's no way to fuck it up. We are practicing whatever and however we'd like to practice, and we're going to be using those cards. We are following a thread and discovering where it unfolds together. All right, those are the details we get. A little bit vague, no worries. Let's get comfy for our very brief visualization, and then we'll float into our exercise. This might feel a little condensed in a hopeful cozy way. We've only got 60 minutes. All right, let's get comfy. I myself am going to take a couple deep breaths. I'll lead you through them as well so that I can get my zone on. I'm going to breathe in and exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Find a comfortable position, whatever that looks like to you. Allow your body to settle. Notice the support beneath you. Notice the rhythm of your breathing. Notice the space around you. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a wide meadow beneath the bright morning sky. The grass moves gently and breeze. Wildflowers sway in every direction. Above you, the sky stretches farther than you can see. Ahead of you, lying among the meadow grass, is a golden thread. At first, all you notice is the small section nearest to your feet. Its golden fibers sparkle in the morning sunlight. You step closer. As you look more carefully, you realize the thread stretches far beyond the place where you first noticed it. It winds through the meadow. It disappears between patches of wildflowers. It curves gently around snows and continues off into the distance. Curious, you bend down and lift a small section of the thread into your hands. It's warm to the touch. Tiny sparkles dance along its length, catching the sunlight as though tiny stars have woven themselves into the golden fibers. For a moment, you hold this small section and watch the sparkles move. Your eyes follow them farther down the thread and farther still. And then you allow the thread to slip softly through your fingers. The golden strand settles back into the grass. Its sparkling path continues ahead of you, winding through the meadow and stretching towards the horizon. You begin walking beside it. As you follow the thread, you notice some wildflowers seem to lean gently towards its golden light. Dewdrops resting on blades of grass sparkle alongside it. Here and there, tiny bursts of light dance above the thread before fading back into the morning air. The farther you walk, the more of the thread reveals itself. Each curve brings something new into view. Each turn offers another opportunity to notice. The thread continues unfolding before you, one shimmering piece at a time. Curiosity moves with you. Discovery moves with you. The thread unfolds naturally as you walk beside it. Each new piece offers another opportunity to observe, another opportunity to discover, another opportunity to follow. Take a slow breath in, out. Notice the feeling of curiosity, the feeling of discovery. Notice the feeling of allowing something to unfold in its own way. The golden thread continues forward, welcoming your attention. When you are ready, bring your awareness back to the room. Bring your attention back to your cards. Bring your attention back to the thread you are about to follow. Welcome home. I'm back, guys. I hope that the sparkles were wonderful. Pretty much any visualization I got from free will involve sparkles. Okay, so now, does anyone have any questions? I know we haven't started and I haven't given you more detail about the exercise. It is purely an exercise in observation. But does anyone have any questions? And we are doing so fabulous with time. We will definitely have time at the end for any more rounded out questions or just pure confusion to unfold. We'll have time. All right, we're good. Okay. So actually, let me get my deck out as the mod's doesn't have her deck out. I'm gonna go with this is difficult. I'm gonna go with Rachel Pollack, the Shining Tribe Tarot, because when I ran through this for practice before I got her to make sure it worked, I was using this deck. It's actually this card. So we'll see. This is a fun deck. If you're like, I want to read intuitively, but all the decks are just so blah. This is a very good intuitive deck. All right, so for our exercise, we are going to shuffle. I actually run a session where we go to our guidebook. So I'm telling you, don't go to your guidebook. That hurt. That actually hurt to say. I have stomach. All right, so don't go to your guidebook. Go ahead and shuffle. If you've already chosen your card, stay with it. You don't have to do this part. I'm going to shuffle. I have not yet chosen my card. And this is Rachel Pollack, the Shining Tribe Tarot. You are welcome to use any divination system that you like, including positive affirmation cards, whatever is calling to you. As you move through our sessions, you'll find what works for you, what doesn't, and you'll go with that. Oopsies. Gosh, I wish I used bumpers. I just had two. All right, we'll just get my card out. If I had strength, I want to go get strength again. Oh, I'd like the 9 of 10, so I think that's fun. They're all good. This is not RWS. This is so off track. And for some reason, I seem to see a lot of female and male anatomy in this deck, and I'm like, the boys are spinning in my head. Like, why do I keep seeing that? It's the 9 of Pentacles. That's what I said. This is my favorite minor. Yes. Okay. So for our exercise, we're going to pull that card. Whatever that card may be, go ahead and get it down there in front of you, or however you want to hold it. All right. Now, the question that you're going to ask yourself to begin is, what is the first thing I notice? And when you look at the card, or at least when I do, the first thing I notice is, maybe not stated, now that I'm saying it, what's the first thing that grabs your attention? I might notice starlight or ground or the little snail or the black cat, but I don't really give a fuck. What grabs my attention is what I want to go towards. Go ahead and spend, we're going to time this. I'm going to give us about 4 minutes. I want you to look at what is the first thing you notice. This may be a person, object, color, animal, emotion, symbol, landscape, gesture, direction, or anything else, anything that catches your attention. There's no need to explain it, simply notice it. And then allow yourself, we're going to go right into question 2 before we pause. What comes next? Make notes. We're going to spend about 4 minutes right here. What's the first thing you notice? What grabs your attention? And what comes next? And make those notes. I'm going to go ahead and mute and set a timer. It'll be on Underneath my spotlight. I just looked up, there's 20 seconds left, so take a minute to wind that up. Wait, wind it up. Let's get some. Whatever. I'm gonna sip my chocolate milk. Okay. So, so for this exercise, and take your time bringing this to a close for yourself. Keep going with your thoughts. If you're not ready to end, don't end. Keep writing. I was looking at the Nine of Pentacles, which just trips me up. That you know, guys, I'm happy to offer first, but if someone is just itching to go, I will always welcome you guys to go first. You just throw that hand up. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. The Nine of Pentacles, this is actually, I was all about, this is not RWS, but this does mimic the RWS image that we see. The first thing I saw, and I'm pretty sure this is not what it looks like I'm sure it's not RWS. Her hand is pointing down, her right hand, I wrote it down, so I'm really bad at the right hand is pointing down. In the Magician card, you see something very similar where the Magician has as above, so below. We can manifest, we can bring from, in the RWS, it's talking about bringing down the power from above, power from below, we rest in the middle and we create. We can bring power from any dimension and any realm. Whatever you believe is there, and you can take and you can pull power from it, try to be from it. So they're saying that here too in my mind, but it's earth-based. It's a Pentacles card, so it's the suit of Pentacles. So I thought if she's pointing down, and then the other hand, the hooded falcon that we see in RWS, it's like, I'm going to use the pronoun she because I'm really drawn to this card. I have a lot of emotional value. So I prefer the pronoun she for this card. You do you, whatever pronoun you want. I'm thinking that falcon is like what would be considered the above, the realm of all. It's right here in this world, and we can pull from it. And that's like earthbound elemental, like elements. I'm saying it's fun. Anything in our reality has energy, and we can alchemize with that energy. We can be the magician. I know I have the 9 of Pentacles, but we can be the magician of that energy. She's showing us that. She's mimicking the design of the magician. She's showing us that in our reality, we can do whatever we want. I kind of read that card, and I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to go with where I thought. It's a difficult one. But, and that was kind of it. Do you know, I had spent so much time just kind of thinking that. Like with this manifestation property, this is a great card for that. And then the last thing I saw, which I wasn't really able to think too much about, was there's 2 stars in the sky. And I was like, why are there 2 stars? Now, I'm not going to the book. I will show you get this deck. This is the book. You will get plenty of details in this book. So I'm going to go after this excerpt. After we're done, I'm going to hit the book and see what this is about. You do not need to share it to your comfort level is. If you would like to share, you are welcome to share now. It's up to you, completely up to you. We can also use the time at the end for just talking. Okay, I'm sorry about the camera, guys. That's the next thing I'm gonna fix. I love that picture at first. Now it drives me insane. Okay, so we don't have any shares, which is fine. Okay.
I can share.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, then I see Grace hand. Charlie, go ahead. I will mute. Take your time.
Sure. And what's interesting is I'm not a frequent practicer of tarot, so I don't know. But like I don't know the traditional meanings and such. But I pulled the Empress, and so I noticed nature, divinity, the similarity of the antlers of the deer and the branches of the tree reaching upward, wings and antenna doing the same, outreach like arms of the Empress stretching out, holding balance between the earth and sky, surrounded and part of all that is, emanating thought into form, radiating across the heavens, part of and elevated with all that is in stillness and calm, peaceful appreciation.
Well, you nailed the Empress, so you're natural. That is a gorgeous deck. What deck is that? Oh, you're muted right now. Oh, that's that Hexa whatever. Wait, no, it's not. Pride Tarot.
It's Pride Tarot.
I did that.
Yeah, it's a very colorful and fun deck.
I like that a lot. There's another, oh shit, and it's June, I should be using it. The Rainbow Tarot. So Lazo, her first name S-O, last name L-A-Z-O. Sometimes she goes just by So, S-O. The Rainbow Tarot, I think it's called. That is a great inclusive deck as well. A lot of color. All right, thank you for sharing that. I like it. And you were saying a balance between, you didn't say heaven and hell. What did you say? There was a balance between what is above and what is below. You did not word it like that, but something like that. And I was like, I wonder if we're going to see this balance. Like, oh, very, very common in tarot, right? You got to balance your life. But as mediums, we do a lot of balancing consistently. Earth and sky. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. A lot of balancing constantly because we're taking in so much information from any exterior source or potentially interior because you can be a medium for what's already existing within you. And we have to kind of understand how to balance that out. Yeah, above and below ties. I love it. And Bree, I did see your hand. Did you want to share? All right, bring some Kim Crayons in.
So I actually turned over three different cards, but I'm just going to share the one. And I actually pulled from Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot. Um, so I love the imagery on the cards, and there's a lot to pull from. So interestingly enough, I kind of was just shuffling with no question in mind for once, and I was really just trying to look at the symbolism, see what popped out at me. And I pulled the Apprentice of Winter Pentacles in reverse. So this is what the card looks like, and this would be the Knight of Pentacles in her deck. So the first thing that stuck out to me immediately was this red scarf on his neck, and it reminded me of a red flag. And then I also noticed the sheep, and I'm like, sheep, like it's like wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, right? So it's like someone that's someone to just be wary of, right? And I had it also in reverse, right? And yesterday, just sharing my life. No, yesterday I had the Moonology little calendar, and this ties in to why I related this way. It says, and I don't know if this resonates for anyone yesterday, but it certainly did for me. It says, as we move toward the last quarter moon, have a think about what you might need to move on from. If you're hanging on to someone or something for dear life, perhaps it's time to release your grip. And just yesterday, long story short, we'll call it like a relationship to a degree, like ended for me. And I think I knew it intuitively for a while, like it was kind of, maybe kind of going downhill, but this is how I took it, as this is a sign and a confirmation and a synchronicity from the universe that it's okay to let this go. Like it really was not meant to be. There were a lot of red flags, really, like the red scarf, there were red flags. Wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, like presented one way, but like acted a different way. And like, it is perfectly cool to like let this go. So, that's what came through for me on the card. And like I said, just resonated based off of yesterday's situation and was beautiful confirmation. So that's my share.
That was genius. That red flag, what she was clothing, that was really freaking good. I was like, oh. That is that deck that Brie was reading from is also part of what they made, Lorraine Anderson and Julie Piaz, but this is a Oracle series they have too. So if you like that artwork kind of folksy, it carries through with their other decks. I love it. And these are the pagan holidays. There's 8 of these decks. I have all 8. I do like these a lot. Okay. Would anyone else like to share on the card that they pulled? It is totally fine. And if your share is, I tried, but I didn't get anything. That's a message in itself. Probably take a nap. 4 swords that shit today. Just go lay down in a coffin somewhere and don't worry about it. Lock that mausoleum up tight. Ugh. Yeah. I would not want to clear the energy in the mausoleum. Ugh. All right. Okay, so I don't see any more hands. If you change your mind and you want to share later, that's fine. Does anyone have any thoughts, any questions about anything that we've talked about? Which has been pretty much this. All right, does anyone have anything they'd like to ask? I did not expect to go through this fast, so this is actually really amazing. But any questions about what we'll be doing in here. I do have a few things to say, but I'm asking if you have any questions first, because I'll talk about the decks that we'll be using next to give you guys an idea. We can get that settled. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I pulled the star. Oh. Okay, so I pulled the star, and just first thing I noticed, it's reversed, and I noticed the breasts, and how that kind of like made me think of the giver of life, and kind of wonder where to go with that. It's just the first time I've done it with cards, so trying to find some other meaning of that. There is some meaning with that, and that I could find a little bit there from some situation that happened day before yesterday. So just wondering where you would how this goes in with a traditional medium practice.
I would say that, so when I was thinking about, you were saying about like live streaming from well, you can have mother's milk, you can have breast milk, right? And she's standing in the water. And as far as mediumship goes, the point of this exercise and all of that would be, let's say you're connecting with spirit. There are more forms of mediumship than talking with dead people. So we are definitely going to focus on multiple forms. If we are going to be exchanging communication with someone who's passed on and you get this card, especially in the reverse, because the way that I read it, spirit will speak directly to you when the card is reversed. So depending on how you shuffle your decks, you're more likely to have that spirit-led kind of message. You don't have to read that way, and you don't have to use every deck for mediumship. You know what I mean? Let your intuition go, which is why we did this exercise. Trusting your thought, trusting where your eyes landed, and trusting what that next step was for you. It's very, very important in mediumship to stay tethered, to not allow that drift to become too severe. So when we practice simple exercises of focus, it helps us become prepared for when we're actually in mediumship. Like Charlie actively channels an entity, like is a channel. So I'm imagining, not trying to speak for Charlie, that there are protocols in place so that Charlie doesn't feel whatever she would refer to as a drift, like however you want to call that. Some mediums will never experience that, I'm sure. I like the idea of knowing I'm in control. So these practices that we just did, they're so fast, 5 minutes, help us stay. Now, a message from spirit, what would that mean? Did the person drown? The card itself is surrounded by water, and because fluid was found within the body, it could be that they actually rested in water for many months or years, becoming saturated by the other elements. That would be what I would go with for a spirit message. That is without having a question, and there is no spirit that I can feel in the room right now giving that to me, so that's purely an example. But that's how I'm going to express reading the cards. As we flow through these sessions, you will undoubtedly develop your own ways to do this, and I applaud you for that. And please feel free to share them. There's no wrong. We're helping each other. And this is all just help, and it's all opinion based. All of it. No, it's not fact based. If you feel strongly about something, that's wonderful. It's still just your opinion. But share it. It's awesome. Stephen, does that help?
Yeah, that totally helps. That gets me pointed in the right direction. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So the protocol to not feel adrift. The first time I started really thinking about that was for astral projection, which is not something I'm very good at, although I try. But it was, I usually say, so when I help other people do it, something I'm having a hard time doing, I'm like, think of a favorite pet, a song you like, a car you drive or have been in that you really like, something that can instantly come to mind and allow you to remember that you live on this plane and that you are in your bedroom or your car, wherever you're resting, wherever you're doing this from. You're not out there, not in body. Your body is here. And your body is hearing that song or having that thought or petting that dog, whatever. So I like those little, I want to stay gripping this reality. I don't want to leave, but I want to explore. I'm sorry, I was just looking at what other notes I, oh, that's personal notes number. Okay, we're good. Would anyone else like to share? I want to make sure that's all I've written down too. Yeah, that would go. Now, I would let, unless there's another question, then you can always raise your hand. I wanted to talk about the decks in the last little bit of time that we have, and please don't go out and just get it. Like, well, she said that she has this. Great, I have this because I'm obsessed and I have a lot of decks. But you don't need to be like that. So, what we'll be working with, if you so choose to accept this mission, is a mediumship deck. I'm bringing my decks over right now. This is going to be a deck that you may already have. I went through, and I do this as a practice anyway. I speak with my decks. I get them out of the box, I shuffle them, and I talk to them. And I asked several decks if they would like to practice mediumship with me. Because the idea that I was having is, and I took a class with Jenna Matlin, so a lot of this is coming from Jenna Matlin too. If you see her on YouTube, and there's similarities, it's probably I took a class with her. But she had suggested, and I followed along, in choosing a mediumship deck. Now, I chose an RWS space deck called Law of Reflections Tarot. And this is by Spell, which I don't know if that's a company or a person. I agree with it. But I chose this deck. And because I like to associate Oracle decks, I like to bring them together with my tarot decks. I call them sister decks. I chose Chubby Witch's Night In. It was a new Oracle deck to me at the time by a designer that I really, really like. And I'm really enjoying reading it. You don't need to have an accompanying Oracle deck. I do suggest you have a primary deck for these sessions though. So when you start reading with the deck, you might find that that deck becomes associated with mediumship to the point where you're starting to just think of it as mediumship when you pick up that deck. I'm just putting that out there because you might end up with a dedicated mediumship deck. You might not be able, you might not read with it outside of that. I am only reading mediumship with this deck because I'm just comfortable doing that right now. If ever I needed to read, if someone came to me and wanted a love reading, I wouldn't hesitate to go through this deck. I'm not going to pigeonhole my decks, but you do you. So at a minimum, you need a single deck for mediumship. And then you'll also need what's called a companion deck. And this is going to be a second deck. Now I was already reading for these two. And it's Amanda Lovelace, what is it? Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. This is the bigger one. And then Amanda Lovelace, the Cozy Witch Tarot. These are my favorite decks. I read with these constantly. So right away I was like, well, those are my companions because I'm so familiar with them. And then, and again, you don't need to do this. I just have a lot. I chose what I'm kind of referring to as like my non-opinion deck. It's kind of, if I feel like I'm not getting a clear reading with those those four decks, I'm going to pull from, and then I chose this deck because I just gotten it and it's just so fucking cute. That's why it's just so fucking cute. It's called Cottage Magic Tarot, and this is by Ann Shen, A-N-N, and then Shen, S-H-E-N. It's pretty basic. It's not a lot of detail on the cards, but very cute. And it's got that folksy, you guys might be able to see this kind of aesthetic that I like, cottagey folksy stuff. I like Americana. And then we have her deck that she also had. So I was like, I'll get it. This is not an Oracle deck I probably would have gotten, but I wanted to stay with the aesthetic and I wanted to have a sister deck because I like them. So I got her Legendary Ladies. Now, I don't know about this deck. I've only pulled from it once. I'm not sure. I might not even use these in our sessions, but I wanted to show you how my mind works. So you will need a mediumship deck. That's a minimum. If you don't have one, you can absolutely go to like tarot.com each time. It's up to you, but it's very helpful to have a physical deck. I partnered it with an Oracle deck. You don't have to. You will need, I say need, but you can always go to tarot.com. A companion deck. And I chose one that was very comfortable. You choose it however you want to choose it. You don't need to stay with the same deck each time. You just need to show up with a mediumship deck and a companion. If for some reason you don't have it, show up anyway. Just be here. You'll get something from this. And you can always offer. Maybe you've got a great memory to the card, depending on the exercise. It might not matter. So mediumship deck and companion deck. Don't rush out and get them. Come to a few sessions. Make sure you like it. If you already have the decks, great. Bring them. Does anyone have any questions or comments about what I just said? Any at all? And you can use any modality that you want. I happen to use Tarot and Oracle a lot. I do have Lenormand, Kipper over there. I've never read them. Lenormand I've read a couple of times, but I haven't really gotten to do it yet. Oh, and a journal. You might want a journal. I love journaling. If not journal, maybe a notes app. Whatever you think. Whatever would be good for you. Let's see. And then any questions? Yes, Bree, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed this exercise. I love just reconnecting with the cards and the imagery of what you notice first. And I think sometimes we lose that when we're doing reading so quick. We're just kind of making whatever messages come to us super quick and we forget to like look at what comes first. So I really enjoyed this exercise. Thanks so much for hosting.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for your feedback. Yeah, and it's so important to be able to stay with the part, stay with the message, stay with the thread. If spirit comes to you and says fucking gibberish for the next 5 minutes, all you're getting is some people are gonna be like, well, I'm checking out, bye, I'm gonna cup of coffee. I'd like you to stay with the gibberish for a good 5 minutes. Just stay with it. Maybe you'll be able to translate it into light language or a picture, or that night you'll have a dream, or you'll go away going, I have no idea what that was, but oh my God. But you were able to stay with it. You had the focus. This is so important too, because many of us are empaths, many of us to varying degrees. And as an empath, having that focus up constantly before you go into the room, before you answer the phone, before the doorbell rings, you got to have that. No, I'll say that it sometimes behooves empaths to have like a shield, a sense of confidence, something that they know that whatever they're about to feel is not them, but it's safe to stay with. Just like looking at a card, it won't attack you. It's safe to stay with whatever thoughts you're having about the card. In mediumship, there are going to be times that I've experienced times where I was very uncomfortable, but I stayed. But I was only able to do that because I practice. I do these little exercises that have nothing to do with speaking with dead people or clearing houses. They're just little exercises so that when I am in the actual moment, I'm able to function. I'm practicing 8 of Pentacles outside of what the actual environment is. I'm honing my craft. We don't always get to know how it's going to come through. So we're going to do a lot of different kinds of exercises while we're in here. And we are absolutely going to practice actual mediumship. There are many forms. And it's only going to be what you're comfortable with. You never have to practice something that you don't want to practice. If you're going to journey out this week with your cards and mediumship, the way that I read the cards when I'm speaking with spirit, when I say spirit, that's anything that you're connecting with. The terminology we use is fluid. Most people can kind of get behind the word, but if you're ever wondering what I'm talking about, ask, because we have different definitions in the room. We think of it differently. Spirit's pretty open. For me, it's whatever you're connecting with. You can call it source or origin, the light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever it is you're going for, that's going to be spirit. So my mediumship deck, I shuffle with reversals. I don't normally do that, but I do that because when I get a reversal, I take that as spirit. A very clear message, spirit is speaking. What is the focus? Remember that exercise we just did? We found focus and we stayed with it. That's when those reversals are going to be really important. Look at the reversal. What's the first thing you think? What is spirit trying to tell you? There is no wrong. But 5 minutes later, you might be at a very different part. Like we spent 5 minutes with that card from where you started. And that for 5 minutes, spirit has been connecting with you, guiding you through what they would like you to know while using this card. You may also start to look at the modalities as the medium, as opposed to you being. That's perfectly healthy. However you want to look at your practice is how I would implore you to look at your practice. And just like this exercise, stay with those thoughts, let them develop and mature. Just like you, they're evolving. So this is so cool. I love the energy in the room. All right, so I've been chatting. We are coming up on closing. Oh, I should say, so meetup, you have it like, it's like an hour slot. I go about 50 minutes, sometimes 45, all my events. We don't ever, unless we're running over, we don't hit the hour because I have a tendency to run over. So we have to stop or we'll just be here for another hour. Any questions? Anything that you guys like to talk about? You can also message me. And if you come across any exercises or fun things that you think would be to do that pertain to mediumship, please let me know. It's helpful to just let me know what you're thinking and what you would find fun. And it also kind of alleviates some burden that I don't have to scrap together exercises and what to talk about. I don't mind doing it, but it's helpful if you guys interject too. All right, before we close, anyone have anything they'd like to share? And you can always message me after too, and I'll get back to you. But if not, we'll say bye. Okay, so we will meet not Saturday, but the following Saturday. Now, we are in this room every Saturday, but we're doing different things. So mediumship is every other Saturday moving forward. Next week is it's actually read from the guidebook. It is so low key, so casual. I know Bree's got a heart up. It is a fun event. You literally just read from the guidebook. You don't have to have your brain turned on like halfway. I fucking love it. All right. So we'll say bye. I'm always waiting for hands. If no hands pop up, okay. We'll say bye, guys. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so happy that I'll be seeing you again. Okay, bye. I'll talk to you later. Oh, Steven, thank you. Oh shit, Steven, I meant to say, thank you, Charlie. I know you guys are still hanging. If you want to hang out like 30 seconds, Steven, do you have the link for your podcast? I'm listening to
Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah, drop your link. I'm listening to this podcast that Steven has done. It's really good.
I've got two more that I've been booked on.
It's about an NDE, near death experience, which can definitely work its way into mediumship. Holy shit. Once that is
Sorry about that.
oh, no worries. Take your time. I know. I meant to ask. I should have put a note in there. I don't know.
Sorry.
No, wait, no worries. I had an NDE. It was a very quick one though. It wasn't like I fell down at a skating rink and maybe I saw an NDE and the breath left my chest, but I saw my entire life in these little tiny squares, like this tiniest little squares. And I was like, what the hell am I looking? I was like 9 years old. But what am I looking at? And I realized that my entire existence, like the Akashic records of past, present, future, was right in front of me in these little tiny squares. And I was like, I can see everything at once. And then air back in my lungs, image gone. But I think we can see, I really do think time is bullshit. Because after that experience, I saw everything at once. Do I remember it? But no, I was 9 years old. I freaked out at Plaza Roller Rink, Portsmouth, Virginia. That's as close to death as I can remember coming. There was that time that horse threw me, but I think I was just concussed.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Share link. There we go.
I have to follow this lady too. I forgot to click.
Sorry about that.
There we go. All right, guys, on YouTube, if you want to grab that link, I'm about a quarter of the way in. It's good. But I mean, I like hearing dead people's stories, so. It's a good one. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. All right, bye, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.